Things have got themselves into a little bit of a muddle over the last month, and my personal aims for this season seem to have got themselves reversed. We need to do something about this, and we need to do something about it quickly before everything starts to go wrong for this season. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to Norwich, part 17, season 3, in the Ferguson save set in the future. And as I said, things have gone a little bit of awry, got themselves into a little bit of a muddle in terms of what I planned for this season. As you will recall, what I wanted for this season was to consolidate our position in the top 4 in the Premier League and to focus on the Cups. The Champions League could take a back seat, and we really were only taking part in the Champions League for the experience of it, so that we could learn and grow possibly for next season. But things really have got themselves into a bit of a muddle, and if we go to the competitions page, you can see, if we look at the table in the Premier League, we have played 16 and we have 31 points. We are now 11 points adrift of Manchester City. And a loss in the league today against Manchester City will mean that we could even drop out of the top 4 here. This is becoming quite a serious problem, and we need to address that quite quickly before it all falls apart and before the title is over, even before Christmas. And also in the Carabao Cup, we were knocked out by Newcastle, and so my focus on the Cup also seems to be falling apart this season. But in terms of the Champions League, we have played 5 games and we have won 5 games, and we are sitting on top of the table, level on points with Manchester United and Barcelona, and one more win will see us finish in the top 8, which means that we won't have to play until about March, when we will qualify for the last 16 and avoid the playoffs. Things have gone a little bit awry, and now suddenly it seems our attention has turned to the Champions League, and we seem to be forgetting the basics, our bread and butter, the Cups and the League, and we are going to get into serious trouble if we don't address that today. And today we will be playing 2 games. We will be at home to Manchester City in the Premier League, and we absolutely need to win that game before Manchester City run away with the title. And then we will be at home to Ajax in the Champions League, and if we win that, we will probably qualify in the top 8 and miss out on the playoff stage. Things are a little strange at the moment, but let's have a look at what's happened on the pitch since you were last with us. And when you were last with us, you saw us beating Bayern Munich in the Champions League, where we tried out that solution to being pressed too hard, and we beat them by 2-1. Absolutely thrilling result. We then beat Wolves by 2-1, and then unfortunately, going into the Carabao Cup 4th round against Newcastle in good spirits, we lost that game, a game we deserved to lose. We never turned up, and Newcastle beat us quite easily in the end. Against Tottenham then in the Premier League, a poor result, a 2-2 draw at home, but then we went away to Lazio. We managed to accomplish another victory in the Champions League, winning by 3-2. Away at Chelsea in the Premier League meant that we finished that game with a 0-0 draw. Things were not looking good in the Premier League at this point, and we followed that with a defeat to Liverpool, and that was a terrible result, especially as we were at home. We then, in the Champions League, beat Beşiktaş by 5-2, absolutely romping that one, before we lost to West Ham in the Premier League, and things were taking a dreadful turn at this point. But we have just turned that run of form in the Premier League around a little bit by winning 2-1 away at Fulham, and that brings us to these 2 games, at home to Manchester City and at home to Ajax in the Champions League. And we definitely need to get a result against Manchester City. My aims in the Champions League are still the same. I really only am playing in the Champions League for experience. So Manchester City is the bigger of the 2 games. But I think what will happen is we'll probably lose to Manchester City and win against Ajax and qualify in the top 8 in our first season in the Champions League. It really is a very strange scenario at the moment. In terms of the injuries that we have at the moment, we just have one out at the moment. Lascaras, a regular starter, central defender, he's out with a twisted knee. He's expected to be out for another week or so. I don't expect him to play in either of these 2 games. So today we are going to get very much straight onto it. We're going to be playing at home to Manchester City first, a game that I'm dreading, and then we will be at home to Ajax in the Champions League. What is going to be the outcome? Who knows? I don't know how these two games are going to pan out. If Manchester City beat us, then we are in serious trouble. And so even though I am dreading this game, I think it is now time to go and face up to Manchester City. Let's go and kick some balls. And so today we are going to be playing against Manchester City with a mid-block, and we're going to step up more to try to compress the midfield a little bit. But what we're going to do is we're going to try and hold our shape. They will press us very, very hard, as did Bayern Munich. If we do lose the ball in transition, I don't want us to be high up the pitch counter-attacking at that time, leaving space behind. So we're going to play with the hold shape. We're not going to counter-press. We're just going to play as we did against Bayern Munich and hope that the same thing works today with Manchester City. And so the team today is Götze in goal, with Muntin, Ley, Reguan and McSweeney at the back. Bertrand, Fortes and Zaprapoulis in midfield. Kitambala gets the nod over Janiel, Puk and Wilden up front. I think that Manchester City are going to be far too strong for us today. Although the team mood is very good, I think it improved a little bit after we beat Fulham. But I think that Manchester City will be far too clever for us today. I think we have to tell them the pundits might not believe in us today, but I do. So I have faith in you. Go out there, make a difference. And let's see if we can't get a result here. A draw will be good. A loss will send us so far behind them that it will probably be impossible to come back. And the title will be over. The good news is that Manchester United beat Liverpool before kickoff. We kicked off today, and so whatever the result, we are going to stay in third. And so after today in the Premier League, we really do need to come to terms with what's happening and to make sure that we are performing a lot better. We're actually holding our own at the moment against City. As expected, we don't have the majority of the possession, but we've had the only shot during the first 30 minutes of the game. And so if this continues, I'll be perfectly happy. We've had 2 shots, 2 on target, and City have not yet caused us any problems, which is a very good sign, or possibly not a very good sign. And we do have a highlight here, and Ley is bringing it forward, looks for Muntin. He finds Zaprapoulis looking for a long ball over the top, probably looking for Wilden. Can't find him. Puk picks it up. Puk running at the right back. Can he get to the byline? Can he get a cross in? He's got himself a little boxed in. He finds McSweeney. McSweeney into the box. Is that going in? It's hit the post, and City clear it behind for a corner. We're doing okay at the moment. As long as we keep this up, we're in with a shout. It will be good if we can put one over Manchester City. I have faith in this idea that if you hold your shape rather than counter-press against these very big teams, that it does mean that they struggle to create opportunities. When they turn it over, then it becomes a problem for them in terms of creating that counter-attack, and we have scored. Lee has put it in from a set piece. We are beating Manchester City at the moment. It's Norwich 1, Manchester City 0. I think deservedly so at present. We've been the better side by the look of it, and it was a lovely leap at the back post. And we have taken the lead against Manchester City, and I'm struggling again to believe that this is happening. We have jumped up into second as a result, and we are now only 8 points behind Manchester City. And I think we're doing very, very well. Manchester City are tiring fast. They must be suffering a European hangover. And we're doing well. Keep working hard until full time. Wilden isn't having a great game, but the rest of the boys are doing their bit. And we are still in the lead. It's Norwich 1, Manchester City 0. Can we hold on to this? It would be a wonderful result. It'd be a result I am not expecting. I was fully expecting to be 2 or 3 down at this point. But that tactic does, for some reason, seem to work. And it does stop the opposition from actually creating counter-attack chances and gives you every chance of getting a result. I think we should go and make some changes. And so we have made some changes. I think my assistant wants me to take McSweeney off as he's on a yellow card, but he's playing too well. And at the moment, we are still holding our own here. It's still Norwich 1, Manchester City 0. Manchester City are coming more and more into this game. But if they equalise, I won't mind. It will still be a very, very good result. I need to make my final 2 changes. And so we have made our final 2 changes, and there are just 7 minutes left. Can we hold on? Let's not give away a goal from a set piece. And there's Jay Neal, who's just come on. He's headed out the ball, but we are under the cosh a little bit here at the moment. I'm wondering, should I go to a little bit more of a defensive setup now to try just to keep them out? And unfortunately, it's too late because Manchester City have scored. It is now 1-1. I suspected it might happen. But we have done very, very well. And even if they go on and win, I won't be too unhappy. They were just too good. They are a very, very good side, and they are deservedly so far ahead in the Premier League. And it's not unsurprising that they have got an equaliser. I just hope that we can hold on now, get a point out of this. That will make us sitting in 3rd. We'll still be in a good position. Manchester City are probably going to have the last laugh here. I'm going to go back and go to a more cautious setup and just try and hold on to what we've got. Although we are trying to break forward with the ball. We need to win it, but City have won the ball. And unfortunately, I've got this funny feeling that we are going to concede late on. But we have won the ball again. Wilden needs to keep hold of it. Nice play. Over the top, looking for Hossoya, who's come on for Pook, who was absolutely dead on his feet. And it's going to be City. I just need the highlight to disappear. If you wouldn't mind, FM, that would be kind of cool. And then we'll have the full-time whistle and we'll all go and have a pint in the bar afterwards. But it is City looking to break. They have found space. They are in. They have stolen the game at the death. And it was not to be. And I feel really disappointed that we've let those 2 late goals in. We did so well, and unfortunately it was not to be. But we have to learn the lesson. They are much, much better than us. And on the day, they were stronger. They were actually much more tired than we were. It's not acceptable. They are absolutely dead on their feet. And we are doing a lot better in terms of fitness. But at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. It's Norwich 1, Manchester City 2. And we have lost. And we are in very, very serious trouble now in terms of the Premier League. We have to put this right. We have to start winning games in the Premier League. It's all very well and good being top of the league in Europe, but we are now 14 points behind Manchester City, and unless they suffer a catastrophic decline in form, then I think the title is already over. There's a lot of teams behind vying for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, but we need to start winning games. We need to go on a run of winning games and consolidate our position in that top 4. Shame, but it wasn't to be. But I think we did ourselves proud. It was always going to be a tough game. I have to get the team ready now for the game against Ajax. We'll probably be a bit deflated, but hopefully Ajax will pick us up again. But before we go to that game at Ajax, if you are brand new to the channel and you like FM content and you love to see people suffer playing the game, you're in the right place. So why not subscribe, like, watch, comment, help the channel to grow and help us to support the very worthwhile cause that you can see scrolling up above. I am now definitely going to go and get the team ready for the game against Ajax. We will be right back. And just before we go to the game against Ajax today, we have had a very strange encounter with the board. They invited me into a meeting with them and they asked me if I would like some more transfer budget. That is a very unusual occurrence for this board. And so, of course, I said I'd be absolutely delighted if you want to give me a little bit more money. And they have upped the transfer budget. But we do have very little in terms of wage budget to play with. But it is possible that we might be able to strengthen the squad over the winter transfer window. Who knows what will happen, but it's nice that they've come to me and asked me if we want a little bit more money. But now it's time to see if we can finish in the top 8 in the Champions League. We have already qualified for the playoffs. A win against Ajax, we will probably finish in the top 8. So let's go and kick some balls. And so the team for today against Ajax, very, very big game this. We need to recover some form. Is Götze in goal with Allen, Reguan, Lee and McSweeney at the back. Ahanach, Fortes and Zapropoulos in midfield with Puk, J. Neal and Wilden up front. I've decided to give J. Neal the nod over Kitambala. I do have a funny feeling that Kitambala is thinking about leaving. I want to make sure that J. Neal is fit and well and healthy and has got good game time. We need to take advantage of our home advantage here. Let's get out there. I've got faith in you. We can beat Ajax here. We can qualify in the top 8 in the Champions League here today. And so I'm relying on people like Wilden, J. Neal, Fortes in midfield to do the business for us today. Zapropoulos has been in good form. Let's hope that we've set them up correctly and that we will win this game. Ajax, who are currently in 14th in the Champions League, and we are top of the league. At least we were until the games were played yesterday. I'm not quite sure where we are at the moment, but a win here will see us finish in the top 8. Pretty much certain of that. Ajax are a very dangerous team. We can't take them lightly, but we are hoping to put on a good performance. If we play well, we'll win. If we don't play well, then we are going to lose this game as well, and that will be such a shame. Our run of form has been very poor of late, and we need to put that right. It's not working for us at the moment, and something has to change or our season is going to fall apart. And a chance there for Ajax goes wide of the post. It's still Norwich 0, Ajax 0. We're in second place in the Champions League. Tottenham are actually on top ahead of us and Manchester United. I believe that Tottenham have just qualified for the playoffs by winning their game. So 16 points is enough for Tottenham. I think another couple of points here against Ajax, that'll be enough for us to qualify in the top 8. Here's J. Neal into the box. What a chance. Clark Puk has showed what value he has, sneaking in at the far post. It's Norwich 1, Ajax 0. That will put us top of the Champions League. And let's keep hold of this now, boys. Neal is going to be a perfect replacement for Kitambala. If Kitambala decides to leave and we can get 50-60 million for him, we'll then have 80 million pounds to spend, which will be a lot of money, and we can strengthen probably in 2 positions, and that will be a good thing in the winter transfer window. We're starting to look a bit thin on the ground in some positions, and so that will be excellent news. I will not be averse to getting rid of Kitambala when we have J. Neal, who really deserves to be in this team. And it is Ajax, though. Ajax are playing quite well. We know they are a dangerous team. The scout report told me they are a very dangerous team, and we are going to have to play well, especially in defence and midfield. We're going to need to win the second balls. They are in space. They are going to score. It's well saved by Götze. Götze, who has just signed a new contract, and we're very happy that we don't have to change our goalkeeper as well. He was thinking about leaving. We offered him a new deal, and he's accepted. And at the moment, it is Ajax who are dominating the game, but we're being solid defensively, which is all I can ask for. And as long as we don't concede, we've won the game. And that will put us back on the top. I think then top 8, here we come. We still have 2 very difficult games to come. And there's a lovely ball. Wilden has stolen it. Wilden's in. It's 2-0. We have caught Ajax on the counter-attack there. It's now 2-0. Wilden, I wanted something from him today. We've got it. He's made it 2-0. Perfect poacher's goal, that. McSweeney fed Puk, and right on the shoulder, once a mistake was made, Wilden has made them pay. It is now Norwich 2, Ajax 0. This could be a very, very big result. We are actually 2 points clear at the top of the group now. In fact, I don't think in FM23 I have ever won the group stage of the Champions League. This will be a novelty if we can go and win the group stage and qualify at the top of the group. But like I said, it's been a very strange season. The Champions League was never my priority. After we beat Bayern Munich, our form in the Champions League has just lifted so far. And I'm very pleased. I'm going to tell the boys I'm very pleased with how they're playing. We just need to continue this now, and we will win this game, and we will finish the day on top of the Champions League. We've hit the crossbar from a free kick. It's still Norwich 2, Ajax 0. We don't look in any danger from Ajax. Ajax are not really causing us much in terms of problems. They've only had 2 opportunities. We've had 14. We've pretty much wiped the floor with them. And it's going very, very well at the moment. But you never know in Europe. It only takes one mistake and the game could be over. We can see that Manchester City are winning and they have moved up into 4th. But we have to focus on our own game. We are winning by 2-0. I'd like to make it 3, and then we can make some substitutions, give some game time to some less experienced players, give some first teamers a rest for 20 minutes or so. Here's Jay Neal in space again, and he's managed to ride the tackle, finds Allen to Ahanach, back to Allen. Can he find support? He's looking for support. He's being pressed hard. Allen finds Fortes to McSweeney looking inside for Neal. Can't find him. The ball has broken for Ajax. They are looking to counter-attack. It is all going wrong here at the moment as Ajax are in space. They're going to score. It's Norwich 2, Ajax 1. We've been caught on the counter-attack there, and that I am not happy about. And it was poor passing, to be fair. I think the press of Ajax, what I want to do, I think, because their press caught us out, I think I'm going to up the tempo that we're playing a little bit. I'm going to make some changes and up the tempo a little bit, get them to release the ball a bit quicker. And so we have made some changes, and hopefully it's enough now to see this game out, to keep us on top. I want us to be zipping the ball around a little bit quicker. We've gone to a high tempo now. They are pressing us and doing very well pressing us, and so we need to release the ball a lot quicker. And we are trying that ball over the top, and they have made one mistake, and we were hoping for another. It comes out to Pook looking over the top for McSweeney, can he get a cross in? He cannot. He's been robbed. There's that press again. We're holding on to the ball far too much, and that is not helping us. And I need to do something about this. Maybe if they're going to counter-attack, we're going to have to hold our shape a little bit. And they are looking very, very dangerous. I'm going to go back to a balanced. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the shape. They are looking. I'm not going to press so much. And we are going to, we are holding our shape already. We'll come off the counter press so that hopefully there's not space in behind us when they counter-attack. There's the space in behind though. They're going to score. It's hit the post. We have to clear it. I'm going to demand more from these boys. They are not playing well. I'm not happy about what is going on here. And they need to pick up their play a little bit. This is not good enough. And it's all Ajax at the moment, but we have stolen the ball. Matic has done well. Sutherland has lost the ball. We have won it back. Here's Matic. It's all a bit chaotic at the moment. Matic running down the right. Can he get a ball into the centre? For a game that we were dominating, we really are not looking very good at the moment. Chance though, and Marcos, who's come on for Pook, has put it in at the far post. My worries can be eased a little bit now. It's Norwich 3, Ajax 1, and finally, I think I can relax. It was a lovely move. Bertrand found Neal. Neal is always a danger in that channel. Marcos kept his nerve. It's now Norwich 3, Ajax 1, and I feel a lot better now. And finally, we can rest and just look forward now to the final whistle, I think. Going to, again, when you're being pressed, it does seem to work. If you just hold your shape, you've got to stop teams getting space on the counter-attack. And if you hold your shape, it just seems to work very well. Jerusu, who's getting some valuable game time in Europe, he looks across for Neil. That's a poor ball, though. And we need to get a foot in here as Ajax are looking to bring it forward. There's not much time left, but we need to be defensively solid. We're not. It's 3-2, and I'm going to berate the team now. This is not good enough. They need to be doing a lot better. And I'm not sure I want to actually pull the line back any further. What I might do, actually, is tell them not to step up, but we're going to drop off now. We'll come back to a mid-block so that we can drop off and just try to contain them, because they are looking very dangerous. In the first half, they had nothing to offer. The second half, they've had 4 shots and they've absolutely ruined us. And we need to just hold on now. Jerusu has picked up a knock. He has to stay in there because we don't have any more substitutes to make. Time is running out. We are going to finish this game winning by 3-2. And boy, that was a nervy one. Nice work, everyone. That was good. We will finish on top of the group. We need to have a look at 9th place. They have 12 points. I think no, goal difference could play a part. If we lose both our last games, goal difference could play a part. But at the moment, we are looking good. We are still top of the group in the Champions League. And that is something that I'm struggling to come to terms with at the moment. We have a very, very busy December, and we're going to play through December, and we'll come back at the beginning of January, and we will look at Leicester City and Grimsby Town in the FA Cup. Of course, the immediate focus in the Ferguson save is to win an FA Cup in 4 years. We have 2 years left to do it. So very important we focus hard on the FA Cup this season, having been knocked out by Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. We need to win most of our games in December, and then we'll be back once the transfer window opens with any news that we might have then. And that's it for this episode. If you are brand new to the channel, why not consider subscribing? Definitely leave a like and help the channel to grow. Help us to support the very worthwhile cause you can see scrolling above, the British Heart Foundation. And all that remains to be said now from a fairly contented manager. We're not going to win the Premier League now. Manchester City have pretty much seen to that before Christmas. But the Champions League is looking very good at the moment. Let's hope it continues. All that remains to be said now is we'll see you in the next episode.